Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TEDXcellence, the show in which I find out how to be a good leader by being an honest leader. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday. Tribulation Thursday. The trouble with tribulations. Yes, so everyone, hello. Hope you're all having a good day thus far. I'm having a bit of a chilly day, if you care about the weather, and I know you don't. But here we are once again today to learn about authentic leadership, as opposed to that fake leadership. I suppose there is fake leadership out there, or hollow leadership. Find out. Authentic being one of my favorite buzzwords. But before we get into that, who all has chosen of their own volition to join me today? Well, that would be Wade Wilson, hello. That one servant of Satania, hello. Jaeger Pony, hello. Raziel, hello. Robert Gruber, hello. Keever Dan, hello. Mr. Dax, hello. Dark Remedy, hello. Matt Barnes, hello. Dina B, hello. Some Namnyon Nation, hello. Coded Perfection, hello. A Scanner Daftly, hello. Your boy Pat, hello. And then chat jumped because, of course, it did. Zalbla, hello. Marcus Gallagher, hello. St. Michael, hello. Zeke Weiss, hello. Crimson Tiger, hello. Vuror of Ashmedai, hello. Aspianti, hello. Roger Reynolds, hello. Shadow Sonata, hello. Nobody Not Me, hello. John Smith, Sprint Cars Rule, hello. Earl Basham, hello. Luke Skywalker 2, hello. Mr. Tickle Trunk, hello. Full Metal Joker, hello. Megan Ring, hello. Robert Pincus, hello. Shadow Sonata, I already said hello, but hello again. And Earl Basham, hello. I think I said hello before. I did a couple of duplicates there, but hey, sue me. Anyway, so what do we have on deck? Well, we have a little bit of an echo. And what I mean by that is the audio, I did my best to reduce this echo, but she's doing sort of an outdoors kind of thing, and there's a little bit of an echo. Can't do much more about it than I did. I tried to filter out some of it so it's not too reverb-ish, so you might have to put up with that a little bit. But other than that, I don't think there's anything exciting about this except that it's another TEDx, but an outdoors TEDx. So maybe you'll feel like you're not in your Corona bunker for a minute or three. And thank you, Drew W. Wendy's has great chili. When I said it's a little chilly here, it's not quite what I meant. But I've never had Wendy's chili. My dad makes great chili. I'll have to take your word for it. But thank you, Drew W. Sabian 187, hello. Green Death, hello. Check Your Logic, hello. All right, guys. So per usual, I will start off with a few seconds for sound test. Get your bingo cards ready. Link is in the description. I think I might jumble the bingo card after this one. So we've been using the same bingo card for a few episodes now. So I think it's time for a change up. But per usual, a few seconds. You guys tell me if you can hear this to make sure that everything's working okay, and then we will begin.
Chapter 1.
Okay, Chapter 1. And that, as far as I know, that's about as bad as the echo gets after my filtering. So if that's annoying, I understand. If you have a hard time listening to that kind of stuff, I guess we'll find out. But I did my best, guys. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Can confirm the chili is pretty good. All right, if you say so. And TEDXcellence, who I'm assuming is not the Texas Attorney General super spy, but could be. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, too. All right, let's see. Sounds fine, says Wade. Chapter 1, says Zalbla. Is she reading us a book? I don't know. Like I said, I listen to these things ahead of time. I just go by the little bits and pieces that TEDx provides me to give me a hint. And thank you, Lady Gopher, for the Dog Cat Fox. Oh, big smiley Dog Cat Fox. You like that, don't you, Dog Cat Fox? Wowie, wow, wow. Dog Cat Fox likes that. Okay.
It's 2020.
Oh, wow. It's well, was that funny? Sorry, let's start over. Let's give her another chance. Let's get the full delivery because I did cut her off. Okay, let's try that again. All right, guys, let's start this.
Chapter 1. It's 2020. The end. This could have been the shortest TED Talk in the history of TED Talks.
If only. You've still got 15 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh, well.
But is it? Is it really the end?
Of the TED Talk? No. Of all things? No. So, thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people and scribbles. How's the moon? The moon's a little chilly today. Not Wendy's chilly, but chilly all the same. But I'm here, warmed by all of your company and Dog Cat Fox and my Pepper Jack.
I say 2020 is the perfect season for self-reflection.
2020 is not a season, it's a year, but okay. Self-reflection. Well, given the fact that I have nobody else here to talk to, I have only myself on which to reflect. So I guess by dint of being forced to do so, you're correct.
A reaffirmation and a reconsideration of our approach. Think about it.
I've been thinking about nothing else but what?
2020.
Yeah, keep saying it. Doesn't change nothing.
When I was granted the opportunity to be here, which was many moons ago, it feels like.
I'm missing something, obviously. Thank you, Drew W. Is it the end of the world and we know it? Well, it's the end of the world as we know it, perhaps. But everybody wants to rule the world, I hear.
I said, wow, what a privilege and an opportunity.
Privilege? Oh my gosh, and not even in a derogatory manner. Free space and privilege on the board, guys. Wow, it's rare that I hear the word privileged used in its appropriate context. Amazing.
A TEDx. I don't even know who TED is.
There's no person. Or is that the joke? Okay.
But a TEDx? Really?
Yeah, really. It is the brand X of TED Talks. It's true.
And now I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm terrified.
Ooh, that's what the T in TEDx stands for. No, it doesn't.
You can't see it. My knees are shaking.
Well, I can see your knees. They're not shaking.
But I thought that's okay.
Okay, everybody look at her knees. Just keep an eye on her knees, see if they're shaking.
Because this is happening.
Yes.
And it's happening now.
Yes.
But the message that I want to share is something that is far more profound than my terrifying fear.
Yeah.
And it is about all of these constructs, this tapestry of what it means to be a great leader.
Constructs and tapestry of what it means to be a great leader. Okay. I am waiting with bated breath. Is that a Ruth Bader Ginsburg t-shirt? The only reason I ask that is because that little doily pattern thing has been so identified with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I got nothing against it. I'm just curious if mine eyes doth deceive me.
To build a team. To do it on a level of resiliency and trust that is profound. And then there's all of these really nerdy concepts that go along with it.
Ooh, nerdy concepts. I can't wait for those. Thank you, Zalba, for the Dog Cat Fox. All little hearts. Oh, Dog Cat Fox. Dancy, Dog Cat Fox. And thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. TED is only the E these days. T and D have died. Yes, it was technology, entertainment, and design. If only it had been like education or something. But even then, it wouldn't matter. Yeah. And Keeverdam says, by the way, I'm home now. Home. Home. Is that the song? I don't know. I can't sing. Never mind.
Like knowledge management, performance management, thinking about building a social ecology, which I tell you is a real thing.
Social ecology, knowledge management. Oh boy, I feel like I'm back in the corporate world.
And this is the weaving, this tapestry
Yes.
of what I call human capital.
What you call human capital, oh boy, coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Now, human capital is not a new buzzword or buzz phrase, but she is owning it. So I'm going to circle attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase in that she is giving it her own definition. So circling buzzword, buzz phrase.
And I was introduced to this in my undergrad studies and my grad studies. And now, for some reason, I'm a glutton for punishment, and I'm doing all of this research about
oh my God, all of this research
about it as well. But
yeah.
it's really a very real thing.
Oh, okay.
A thing that has quite tangible and intangible impacts.
Tangible and intangible impacts? Wow. So it's everywhere and everything. What is it again? Human capital? Okay.
So when we think about this real thing, and I'm going to ask you to humor me for a moment.
I'm humoring you for about 15 moments, but okay. When we think about this real thing, why do you have to assure us this thing is real? If it's real, then it's real. You don't have to keep. Okay.
Right? I want everyone to close your eyes.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes.
No peeking.
Yeah.
I see some of you without your eyes closed.
Yeah.
Now, do me a favor and think about your best boss that you've ever had.
My best boss that I've ever had. Okay, I'm thinking of the best boss I've ever had. Oh, me! It was me! Oh, are you talking about like employment? Oh. Okay, I'm thinking of my best boss. Truth be told, my current boss is my best boss out of the select few that I've had in my life. Okay, I'm thinking about my best boss.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Boss does a disservice to the word.
Oh.
I want you to imagine and visualize your most amazing superhero teacher, leader, mentor that you've ever had the privilege of working with.
Okay, so only professionally we're talking here. Well, truth be told, just on the basis of volume of positive experiences, I'd still say it's my current boss. You know, I mean, maybe that's an uneven estimation, all things considered, since I've had the same boss for several years now. But okay, I'm still visualizing the same person.
All right. Do you have that person?
Yes.
I see some satisfaction on some faces out here. I can actually tell you're smiling under your mask right now.
Oh yes, this is a COVID-19 TEDx. We're outdoors and social distancing, and the audience is wearing masks. Then okay.
Now, what are some words and some characteristics that come to mind when you're thinking of this person?
Well, let's see. Upbeat, compassionate, task-focused, loyal. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I could go on, but sure, there's a few.
I would guess that maybe you would say that that person is knowledgeable.
Well, I mean, sure. It's probably a word I would come up with if I was given more time, but sure.
Maybe that person is a teacher doer.
Kind of. I mean, at this stage of the game, I know my job inside and out, and so I could probably tell my boss things he doesn't know about how certain things work, but then he's kind of a few levels above it all. So yeah, sure.
How about a visionary?
It sounds a bit pretentious, but maybe. It depends on what we're talking about.
How about a person that you've grown to rely on and trust?
Sure.
But on a larger concept, how about that person gives you a sense of belonging?
Well, yes, but I also earned my sense of belonging by doing my job. It's kind of a two-way street kind of thing, you know. The leader might affirm the job you're doing, but you still have to be doing the job. But I feel like I'm being Trojan horsed into something here. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel that way. Very agreeable sort of notion so far, leading up to what?
There's power in that, right? Now, let's shift our perception. Close your eyes again.
Oh.
I would like you to think about the worst boss you've ever had.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking of the worst boss I ever had. It's in my mind. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That supervisor. That manager.
I'm tempted to circle mind reading assumes motives, but she's talking in such generalities. It's not really mind reading. Everybody's had a bad boss. Everybody's had a good boss or a supervisor or something. So it's okay.
Oh, and I'm so sorry because some of you look a little nauseous right now.
Yeah, well, nauseous aside, Merle Davis in the chat says, "Hey, Scribe, this is off topic, but my niece was just born this morning." Well, congratulations to your niece. Congratulations to your sibling who is now a parent, either for the first time or once again. I hope she is healthy and well. If you're on Lords of the Night tonight, let us know or give me some info on the niece's name, and I'll be sure to sing to her. Thank you, Drew W. Does my wife count as your worst boss? I don't know. You have to take that up with her, I suppose. But yes, congratulations to Merle on the birth of his niece. Hope everything again is well. Let's see. Where were we? I got distracted by birth of baby. Birth of baby. It's always a nice thing. Okay. Worst boss. Yes, we can think of our worst boss, supervisor, elsewise.
And I bet you have characteristics that you're thinking of about that person, right? Or persons. I know I've got a few.
And yeah. Okay. This is all filler. This pseudo audience interactions or participation stuff is just filler. Are we going to get to something soon?
But we're not going to share our thoughts on those because that is not meant for this channel at this time. We'll save those thoughts for after dark.
Okay. After dark? Like, what happens after dark? Are we going to commit some kind of like secret ritual to purge ourselves of our worst bosses ever? Okay, and are we going to get to the point now?
But do you see the power in how that can influence you?
What?
That is the power of human capital.
What is the power of human capital? Having good and or bad bosses? What?
Now, it wasn't too long ago, just a few days ago, my better half actually said something to me that was so profound.
Okay. I'm circling word salad because I have absolutely no idea how any of that meant anything to human capital. When I think of the phrase human capital, I think of, well, people on your team or people who you interact with who, by dint of their abilities or skills or something else, provide value to your situation. You know, it can sound a little heartless, a little cold calculations, but it's not an inherently bad thing. You know, it's like Mission Impossible, right? You got like 4 people on the team. You got the guy who's good at impersonating people. You've got the explosive expert. You've got the sniper, and you've got the girl who can seduce people, right? So everybody's got their skill that they bring to the table. Now, they as individuals, sure, they're individual people and everything else. But if you're Jim Phelps up here on the third level of things, you're looking down and saying, okay, what are the tools in my toolbox to get the job done? That's your human capital. Right? It doesn't make them not human or not people or something. It just, they have a utility, and there you go. So that's what I think of when I think of the phrase human capital. But as far as what our speaker thinks of the phrase, I have no idea because she hasn't actually defined it. She just asked us what our best and worst bosses are, which doesn't say anything. Let's see. Mr. No says, did you circle anecdote? What anecdote? She hasn't given us an anecdote yet. She's given us like hypotheticals and things. Did I miss an anecdote somewhere? So maybe I did. If I did miss an anecdote that you think didn't happen, let me know what that was, because maybe it went right over my head with everything else going on.
He said, we want to do the right thing for the right people.
Why don't you do the right thing for all the people? Who are the right people? The right thing for the right people. Okay.
Think about that.
I am thinking about it. I'm wondering what qualifies someone as a right person versus a wrong person, and why wrong people don't need to be treated rightly. She said right people. Yeah.
You want to be a part of something where you can do the right thing.
Yes.
For and with the right people.
What qualifies someone as a right person? What are you talking about?
That is what motivates us. Which brings me to a story of when I met my best friend.
Okay, we get to an anecdote. All right, the first anecdote of this thing. All right, when you met your best friend. Now, if it's a childhood anecdote, well, we have that. Let's find out.
Now, this was many moons ago.
You like that phrase, many moons?
Probably 18 years ago at this point.
Does that make it childhood? Well, let's see if she mentions family.
It was a series of happen chance and unfortunate events.
Happen chance? Happen chance. Okay.
And I was obliged to go to a meeting that I thought, in all of my infinite knowledge and wisdom, in my early 20s, I do not want to be there. I knew that I would not like any of these people that would be with me in this meeting, perhaps.
Why? I can only guess, but why? Okay, her mid-20s, so this isn't a childhood anecdote. I don't hear any family in there, so we're going for, is this an anecdote that ever happened?
And I wanted to find my way out before I got in, and I walk in and I'm like, I don't want to even be a part of this. I don't belong here.
Yeah, we get it. I don't know why. I'm curious to know, but maybe I'll circle leaves out vital context if you keep harping on it.
And I looked around the room. I'm canvassing everybody that's there, and I'm like, absolutely, I am not meant to be here.
Why? Why?
Now. And then I look across, and oh my gosh, I just made eye contact with someone. That kind of eye contact where you look away really quickly, almost like you just walked in on somebody in the bathroom. Like you want to take it back.
What is wrong with you?
And she's starting to come over to me.
A person, run away!
Here she comes.
Walking down the street, gets funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, we're a flunky!
And she's got this saunter, this kind of goofy little way about herself, which I'll say is quite annoying.
Please take us somewhere quickly.
And she looked at me and she said, "Hi, friend." What?
That sounds very similar to something that a police officer in Uganda, I believe, said to our previous TEDx speaker.
First of all, I don't even know you. Second of all, I'm not your friend.
Yeah, bitch.
But then these walls that we tend to put up around ourselves, these self-preserving walls to protect us from, anything in the outside started to come down. Which
Okay.
2 simple words.
Yes.
And I thought, is she really this type of reasonable and decent human being?
Probably not if she's in business. Oh, wait, no, I don't know. Leadership, authentic, something, somewhere.
Time went on. We ended up being best of friends.
Oh.
But as you can see, 2 very powerful words, simple words, as a hi friend, started to build this thing not only between she and I, but on a larger scope within our social network.
Everybody's saying that it was the United Arab Emirates, not Uganda. Was it? In the previous TEDx where the guy went to another country and he was stopped by a police officer, it was the UAE and not Uganda? Was it? If I'm misremembering, I apologize. I thought it was Uganda, but okay.
Which is a social ecology.
Yeah.
And we've developed this community of sorts.
Oh.
This sense of belonging.
Oh.
Which is really what it's about to feel like when you're included.
What? Yes. So you walked into the meeting being a total and absolute antisocial something or other. Somebody comes up and is friendly to you, genuinely so, it sounds like. You become friends. Oh, this is what it feels like to be included. Did you ever, I don't know, go to preschool? Was this honestly some kind of crazy revelation for you in your early 20s? Making friends, being friendly, inviting somebody into the circle or whatever beyond your walls and bubble? Really? I don't think I have enough here to say this is an anecdote that never happened. Someone coming up and saying, hello, friend. I've had people do that before. But it just seems bizarre to me that somehow all of this was some grand discovery for you in your early 20s. Thank you. This is Kyle. Is it me or is she really narcissistic? I'm not sure what our speaker is yet. I'm not quite sure what she is.
Which brings me to the pandemic.
What? Oh, okay. So let me tell you how I met my best friend. Now let's go on to the pandemic. Okay. Are we going to get to what authentic leadership is at some point?
Hot Topic, right?
No, Hot Topic is a small chain of stores. Well, maybe not so small. It has a whole bunch of like rock goth stuff in it, or at least it used to. I used to go to Hot Topic. Don't at me, bro.
Two schools of thought in this experience.
Oh, only two? Okay.
At least in my opinion.
In your opinion. Okay.
We've got those folks who life as they know it has been obliterated, right?
Yeah, those folks who have lost their jobs or their businesses or their livelihoods or their loved one. Yeah, there are those folks. Yeah.
That they have been forced into a transition plan that they would have never anticipated to pivot and remake their life as their own based on whatever they have available.
Yes. Admittedly, that kind of stuff can happen even in a non-pandemic territory, but yes, okay.
And then there's the other group, which is the marathon group. It's got extremely busy to the point where we cannot even take a moment to regroup and think about things, where it's just been so intense and so demanding.
What? You've got people whose lives have been destroyed by the pandemic and people who can't stop thinking about things, and ne'er the twain shall meet? What? Thank you, Pecoraro, Driving Ant-Man. Hot Topic has been a Gap company since 2006-ish. Well, I went to Hot Topic in like the 2001 to 2004 territory. So I avoided that whole Gap stuff. Yeah. Oh, Lexi Mads is here? Uh-oh. Do I have to rewind to the start of the video again? Okay. No, just kidding.
I am part of that group.
Oh, you're part of the overthinking group. Your life hasn't been destroyed. Oh, okay.
I work for a major healthcare system.
Oh, well, then I guess you've got job security.
Major healthcare system.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And part of that marathon group has required, especially at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
So we're talking February, March-ish.
Yes.
Many early mornings.
Yes.
Now, bear with me a moment.
I've been bearing with you for 8 moments and 10 seconds. I have been bearing with you over half of your presentation time now. I'm still waiting to get to the authentic leadership part.
Because with these early mornings and what my better half calls my HR clicky shoes.
Your HR clicky shoes. Okay. Why do you keep calling this person your better half? It's odd. I mean, I hear that from time to time, but not usually in such rapid succession.
I would walk into the hospital.
Yes.
Make my way to the lobby and through to the elevator.
Uh-huh.
And around the corner
Yes.
comes this gentleman who I grew to know and develop a working relationship with.
I'm absolutely enthralled by this tale of clicky shoes.
And every morning, especially between the 5:30, 6:30 a.m. hour, I would be making my way. He would be coming around the side.
Oh my God, I am on the edge of my seat.
And I would say, well, top of the morning, sir.
Are you Irish? Or if you're not, aren't you culturally appropriating?
And he would say, well, good morning, Diana.
Oh, wow. God, you know, this is amazing. This is a cliffhanger. Somebody jump out and say, what a twist.
And he'd say, how is your day going? I say, fantastically well. And he'd say, that's wonderful. Mine is too.
Oh my God. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? This is amazing. Thank you, Pecoraro, the driving ape man. Someone doesn't want to say husband. How virtuous. I don't know. Could be your husband. Could be your wife. Could be your boyfriend. Could be your girlfriend. She keeps saying better half. I don't know. I think I can maybe spy a ring on her finger, but if that's the biggest mystery I have so far of this entire thing.
And as we began to continue to meet about that same time at dark 30.
Dark 30. Right. Okay. Are we getting to the point where you're like, we started having an affair or something else happened? I mean, what is the twist?
I grew to learn that what he was doing was he was leaving his team that worked in this department.
Yes.
The third shift.
Okay.
After he would round with them and say, how is it going? Is there anything I can do? What do you need?
Okay. Please tell me, adult person who apparently has lived a bit of life thus far up to the point of the pandemic, that this is somehow a revelation for you, but not just that it is a revelation that you feel so direly needing to tell me. Because I've never heard of it either or something. What?
How is your family? Right?
Right.
And when he did that, what he was doing was establishing this foundation. This high level of trust. Which is quite profound because I know, especially for those of you that were a little nauseated a few moments ago.
Well, a few moments ago. No.
You had that boss, that manager who would just breeze through the office and say, oh, how are you? They really didn't care what your response was because they really didn't want to know, because they really were not that in tune with you and what your needs were at that time.
Okay. So authentic leadership is when a boss or a supervisor asks you how you are, or if you need anything, or how is your family, except that they're being sincere when they ask these questions. please do not tell me that you waited the many moons necessary to get to this TEDx stage to tell me that.
See, what that superhero teacher, leader, mentor was doing is every morning he was starting his day, taking maybe an hour, a little more, to not only interact with his first shift, his second shift, but his third shift. But he was building what I like to call a foundation of trust.
Okay. I've said it a couple of times now, and I'll just say it again. If this was a TEDx that was like, I don't know, maybe one of those TEDx youth things where you get like a high school kid up there and they start talking about what they learned in this thing or that or the other, something like that. I could believe this. I could believe this as something like, wow, that's a really great thing to learn, or I didn't know that ahead of time, and this is what I discovered, and maybe there are some things to be learned from simple discoveries, etc. Or maybe you know what? Okay, I'll take a step back even from that. Maybe I am speaking from a position of privilege in that I have been through the ringer personally, either directly or as someone in charge of things. I've been in charge of people before. I've been in charge of organizing things before. I've been subject to being organized by other people. Maybe I am just spewing out my own experience, and this is actually something that a lot of people have no idea about. Maybe I give the rest of the world too much credit or something. I don't know. But this all sounds very boilerplate to me. Something I like to call boilerplate personal interaction and leadership skills. Now, if all of this is some grand discovery for our speaker, if this is so rare in the world that our speaker feels compelled to tell the rest of us because she thinks we don't know it, then admittedly, I guess that's probably a sad state of affairs. Really is. Because everything she's describing to me is, as I said, about as basic boilerplate as you could imagine for a supervisor. Just someone checking in on the people they are supervising or overseeing. Going slightly beyond just doing the job and getting to know the people on your team. Yeah, building trust, building a rapport, building a relationship, and on and on. It's not so much different from just interacting with people normally or making friends, but sure, in a supervisory role, it's a little bit of a different dynamic. Okay. Is this news? Really? I don't know.
Because you cannot develop this quickly. It's not like a magic wand that you can wave so quickly to say, yes, I'm going to create a perfect culture.
I don't think anybody says that. Except maybe communists.
But what he was doing, and this is going to get a little cliche, so bear with me for a moment.
This entire thing has been cliche. Now, I take that back. In most TEDx's, usually we've reached some kind of point or argument by now. We're 10 minutes, 32 seconds into this 15-minute, 27-second presentation.
He was planting roots.
You know what, Kiever Dam, you are absolutely right. Benevolent condescension, I'm circling that one. I have a hard time believing that most people can get through life, elementary school, junior high, high school, early career stuff, and not have some of these things down basic, or at least be knowledgeable enough about the existence of these things. She really thinks her audience is just so clueless as to this stuff, really? Okay, so on the board, for those of you keeping score at home, and I assume that you are, we have circled privilege, free space, word salad, attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, and benevolent condescension. Others may be on deck shortly, but we'll get there eventually.
And from those roots, what do you think could grow?
A tree of trust, or authentic leadership, or a beneficial bush,
And if you visualize the roots growing into a beautiful tree, a tree with a canopy as wide as you can imagine, we'll call that tree inclusion.
Oh, God. The tree of inclusion. Okay. We'll call that tree inclusion. Okay.
From that tree,
yes.
If we go back and digress a little bit, think about that social ecology.
Yeah.
He's developing that team.
Yes.
And that team is now sitting under this beautiful tree of inclusion. They all get along. It's trust. It's wonderful. Now, not every day is perfect, believe me, because I wake up on some days I don't even like myself. I can't imagine anybody else liking me too.
Was this one of those days by any chance? Was this one of those days? Oh, boy. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Joe Smith showed us how to use paper towels on the TED main stage in 2012. He has done more for humanity than an army of Dianes and her better halves. I don't know where Diane is going here. She's giving us... Okay, I'll just end up repeating myself, and we still have a couple of minutes left to go. So let's power through.
But under that tree,
yes,
this team sits.
Yes.
But there's one more, and I'm going to take it to the next level of cliche.
Oh, goody.
That tree is blossoming. And from those blossoms, we've got mattering fruit.
Mattering fruit? Mattering fruit. Do tell.
And I don't know about you.
You're right. You have absolutely no idea about me.
But we're in a season where mattering means the most.
Okay. Tell me.
Where I can say, you, and you matter.
Oh my God.
Now, why is that important?
I don't know. I don't know. You're trying to lift my spirits because in this time of lockdown and pandemic and isolation, that it's difficult to feel like I'm relevant in the grand forces of the universe and the giant cogs and the giant clock of the giant universe under the giant tree of inclusion, to feel like I'm worth anything, that I have value. I don't know. Why is it important? Tell me why.
Think about it.
I am thinking a lot about it, probably more than is ever needed to deserve it. Oh boy.
Think about what he's doing and that leadership and that connectivity that he is establishing in his team.
Okay, I am thinking about it. I'm thinking about basic social skills and boilerplate supervisory tactics to get to know your team. Sounds kind of cold, but it is effective. I am thinking about it. And then?
That right there is what it means to be authentic.
No. You see, Diane, someone could do all of those things and be a rotten liar. They could have their rapport down, their patter down to where they sound authentic, but don't give a shit. There's effective leadership and there's ineffective leadership. What comes down to the individual characteristics of the leader, well, that's up to the leader. You can have an effective leader who's an absolute jerkwad. You can have an effective leader who's an absolute saint. And you can have an effective leader that's somewhere in the middle. At the same time, you can have an ineffective leader who is one or more of all of those things as well. Authenticity is not necessary to be an effective leader. What that guy is doing tells me nothing about how authentic he is being. He's simply being a good leader. At least I'll take your description at face value. It doesn't mean anything about the truth of it. Maybe he is. Maybe he's a great guy. And every time he asks somebody how they're doing, he actually really cares. It's entirely possible. But nothing of what you've told me tells me that he is being authentic, or that simply going through those motions makes someone quote unquote authentic. What is an authentic leader? How do you define authentic? Someone who's genuine? Someone who's sincere? Okay. Is that required to be an effective leader? No, not at all. Thank you, Drew W. If you don't matter, your energy. Oh, thank you, Drew. And thank you, formerly Rod Line. Nirvana found, for I know mattering means the most. Yes. Okay, Diane, tell me more about how him doing the basics is authentic leadership and not just effective leadership.
So when we take those concepts.
What concepts?
We've got a social ecology.
Social ecology. A prison is a social ecology. Tell me I'm wrong. What is...
We've got this community of practice.
Community of practice?
And then we've got that superhero leader mentor.
The warden. Oh.
Who is empowering and engaging his team.
Uh-huh.
Those are all of those intangibles, right? The glitter and the rainbows and butterflies of human capital.
What?
But there's one more piece where it crosses into now the real world.
We're not in the real world yet? Where have we been the whole time? Fantasyland? Oh, golly gee whiz. All right, well, here we go, guys. We're about to step over. We're about to cross the threshold. Open up the portal to the real world.
And that's the ownership. So there's a recent Gallup poll.
Oh, the ownership of what? Wait, what?
And in the Gallup poll, and this is what tells you that this is all real.
Yeah. You know, I don't know when this was recorded, Diana, but I'll tell you what, polling as a reflection of reality, yeah, you might have missed the boat in the last, 6 years or so regarding polling being an accurate reflection of reality. But go on.
How it has very real impacts.
Uh-huh.
The Gallup poll stated that 55% of the American workforce is complacent.
Complacent? That's a loaded term. In what way are they complacent?
Okay, so what's that mean?
I am dying to know.
Complacency. Yeah. Not everybody's going to have a high performer day, right?
Uh-huh.
Complacency means higher absenteeism, lower productivity, and losses in profitability.
Oh my God. Ebony Williams asked, Scribble, did you circle word salad? Yes, word salad has been circled.
But let's take that Gallup information and let's put it into real tangibles.
I mean, aside from loss of profitability and low work turnout and attendance, okay.
If you take $10,000 worth of an employee's salary, and you put 55% complacency on it, which equals out to be about 34%. I did the math.
What? What? $10,000, 55% complacency equals 34%. What? I gotta back up. I gotta back up.
Information, and let's put it into real tangibles. If you take $10,000 worth of an employee's salary,
$10,000 worth of an employee's salary, okay,
and you put 55% complacency on it.
put 55% complacency on it. I don't know what that means, but okay, so $10,000 and I put 55% complacency on it. That leaves me with 45%, doesn't it?
Which equals out to be about 34%. I did the math.
34. What?
You end up with
Yeah.
$3,400 worth of loss.
55% complacency equals 34% or $3,400 of loss. Okay, thank you, Johnny Stoffel. Speaker didn't show. TEDx grabbed Diana from HR. Well, she told us she was waiting many moons to do this presentation. So, is this Common Core math or something? Did I not carry the number from box A to box 17 or something?
Now let's double that concept and let's think about the average American salary.
Okay.
$47,000 is what it is.
Okay, and do you put 55% complacency on that and you get 22%? And
I would question that, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah, people losing their jobs and their wages and their lifestyles, and yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Aren't you glad that you're still employed in the medical field? Yeah.
$47,000. If you take 34% of that, $15,980 per employee in complacency costs.
So, what? Crack the whip harder or something? You've got less than 2 minutes left, or I should say just a little bit over 2 minutes. My apologies. What is your presentation about? Is it about efficiency improvement? Is it about how you met your best friend, or how good or bad a boss is? What? Why are we here? Just to suffer?
Lower productivity. Take that ownership.
What?
Now,
What?
if you don't feel like there's a sense to want to build a culture, build a change, believe in a social ecology, well, then I would beg to differ.
What?
So when you take all of that and you put it together and you think about what it means to develop and engage and be an authentic leader.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for 14 minutes. What's my conclusion, Diana?
I would say this.
Yeah.
What is it that you would do to develop that highly technical, high friend principle? Do you also have the stamina and the energy?
The stamina! Stamina! Do you have the stamina? The stamina. Is that an improvement on the phrase "I stan," etc., as the kids use it these days? Stamina. Can you keep up with your hero worship? Stamina.
That it takes to be that superhero leader mentor who is connecting with his team on a regular basis, making them a priority. I would have to say the notorious RBG.
I was right. That is a Ruth Bader Ginsburg shirt.
Said it the best.
Oh, she said it the best. Okay.
When she said real change.
Yeah.
Enduring change.
Yeah.
Happens one step at a time. So my call to action to you is this.
Oh boy, guys, here we go. The call to action after saying nothing for 15 minutes.
As leaders,
yes,
take that step
yes,
in developing an authentic leadership approach.
Okay.
The chapter, plant your tree. Add some inclusion and some mattering fruit. Thank you.
Okay. I think that might be one of the second most nonsensical TEDx I've seen. The other one being The Right Stuff. What was it? A ritual for healing and something or other from many moons ago. Yeah, that went absolutely nowhere, did nothing. But let's move on to the bingo card. Let me put it up on the screen here so we can proceed as we go. This is what I have so far. It will not be where we end up, I'm sure, but let's go on. All right. Takes credit for something done, experienced by others in their demographic. I don't recall that she did. So I'm going to set that one aside. Thank you, Chaos X, for the combat-ready hippopotamus. Thank you so much. Systemic institutional. I mean, she talked about... did she talk about institutions? I mean, she talked about the medical... I don't think so. I honestly, guys, I'm having a hard time remembering specificity here, given how all over the place she was. So if I did miss something, shout it out in the chat. Thank you, Jaeger Pony. If ever there was a better embodiment of the quiz scene from Billy Madison, I haven't seen it. Yeah. Lexi Mad says, I just Googled stanima. It is defined as stamina when you're drunk. Well, maybe I've got a little right now. Equity, that's going to be a tough hill to climb there. She never used the word. I'm going to need a really good argument from you guys if I'm going to circle that one, because it is the one we'd need to get a bingo. Also one that I don't think she got to. Childhood or family anecdote. She never talked about her childhood or her family. She talked about her early 20s. That doesn't count as childhood, even if her mentality might equate to that. Thank you. This is Kyle. Weird how much one can talk yet say so little. Yeah, I know, isn't it? That was amazing, actually. It's kind of a talented thing. Toxic, no. Plays victim? No. Not that I recall. Microaggressions, unconscious bias? No. Contradicts own point or argument. Did she make an argument? I mean, her argument was nothing. It was dumb. If it was, I don't know. Patriarchy, no. Weightless example. I'm just going to circle that one on principle, because nothing of what she was talking, meeting her friend coming up and introducing herself, that had nothing to do with leadership. Unless her friend was her supervisor, but she never told us that. Nothing about that made any sense. Had anything to do with anything. Wage gap? No. Feminism? No, she never brought up gender. And she never brought up race either, honestly. Marginalization? No. She did talk about diversity, didn't she, at one point? A list. She gave us a list. She told us, like, here are the two things. Here's another item, da-da-da-da-da. So she did give us a list. White supremacy? Nope. Self-vilification or wretchedness? No. No. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason? No, she didn't. Mind reading assumes motives. I can't include benevolent condescension in mind reading because most of her stuff was hypothetical. She was asking the audience for participation type stuff. So we've all had that, boss. We've all had that. That's a tough one. I'll need an argument for that one. Anecdote that probably never happened. I don't disbelieve that her best friend made the first move towards her and was friendly. I don't disbelieve that there's a person she interacts with who is a basically good supervisor in keeping in touch with their subordinates. I don't disbelieve any of that. So leaves out vital context. Yeah, I'm circling that one because this entire talk had no context towards the point. Like, authentic leadership. You weren't talking about authentic leadership. You're talking about effective leadership. And effective leadership does not require authenticity. I hate to tell you this, but being absolutely pragmatic, you don't even have to give away anything about your personal beliefs or credibility or anything else to be an effective leader. You could be a leader in the moment, right? Circumstances, absent any question of your truthfulness or anything else. Anyway, okay, so this is where I'm at, guys. If you have arguments for other squares to be circled, I will entertain them now. I'll scroll up a little bit. Let's see. Johnny Stoffel says, mentioning RBG, circle every square. No, sorry, that's not going to happen. Mr. Tickle Trunk, better half is family, Scribelight. Yeah, but she didn't give us an anecdote about her better half so much. She just talked in reference to her better half. If the story had been, let me tell you the story about how I met my better half, then yeah, I'd do that. But she just, again, I'm going to need a better argument than that. Lexi Mans, from now on, Scribelight shall have stamina when he is doing these streams. There you go. Yes. My increased sense of stamina. Argument, she didn't even have a point, says Giovanni Prince. Yeah, I can't say she contradicted her own argument or point because I'm not quite sure what she was going for. That one sort of Zatania, Scribelight, make a circle around the whole bingo starting from weightless example. Her whole talk was a huge weightless example. Having done that once with Chromosome Lady, I am hesitant to do that again, except for the most extreme example of a talk that is absolutely full of nonsense. And I understand you can say, oh, this is full of nonsense. I don't... Chromosome Lady is a high bar to hit. I just want to make sure. I'm looking at this point more as a TEDx talk than I am looking at an effective presentation. So did we hit enough elements in the TEDx talk, such as it is, to get a bingo? Let's see. Nobody, not me. We are all stupiderist for listening to her. Yeah, probably. Bastard Beast, how long was she waiting to do this? You'd think she had time to proofread. I don't know. Let's see. And then chat jumped again. One servant of Zatania, Scribelight, but how can that tree of inclusion grow without the water of merit and nutrients of motivation? Yeah, I was wondering when she was going to get to, like, what are you watering this with? Marcus Gallagher, did she never say equity? Nope, she never said equity. Sorry. And I would need a very good argument to even in the aggregate circle equity based on what she said. Dark Remedy, she just ripped off John Maxwell's leadership books and missed the point of those books, then added some WTF terms and stuff. Yeah, it was like aerogel. You ever seen those videos where they show aerogel? The lightest substance or something that still can be called substance. It's basically solidified air and a little bit of dust or something. That's kind of what this was. This was aerogel. Mr. Tickle Truck assumes motive, Scribelight. She assumes when you're passing on niceties, you mean them and can't do so disingenuously. Okay. You know what? I'll give you that one. That is true. Yes. Nothing about her story of the other guy said that he was being authentic, as in being genuine or sincere. He could have just been going through the motions and having a very pleasant demeanor. So sure, okay. Still doesn't get us to a bingo, but I accept your argument. Let's see. Lexi Mads, I'm sick of looking at RBG shirts. Women did some great and not so great things. All hail RBG. Barbecue lives matter. Yeah. Mr. United says, too bad there's not a square called Y. Yeah, not really. There's a lot of Y's in there. There's a lot of Y's. Why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Ted is her other half. Maybe. Johnny Salva contradicts her own point. Her point was to give a presentation, but she just talked about her friend and stuff. Let's see. Anything else? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. She is your brain on drugs. Haha, says Robert Gruber. Yeah. Yeah, I think this might be it, guys. Let me upload it one more time here. I don't see us getting any other squares. She really did say nothing about nothing. And even setting aside the bingo card, her presentation did not present us, at the risk of being repetitive, anything about what it means to be an authentic leader versus just being a leader, good, bad, or otherwise. She brings up, think of the best leaders, mentors in your life, and then think of the worst mentors and leaders in your life. And then she doesn't even go through any motions to try to compare and contrast the elements that make up a good leader versus a bad leader. Just that being an authentic leader, where you're cultivating a social garden under a tree of fruit and stuff, is what you're supposed to do. It all sounded so new age, Hallmark card, weightless nonsense. So, yeah. And we are all dumber for having listened to it. But with that, guys, I'm going to call that here. Relatively short TEDXcellence today because there was nothing much to discuss because she didn't give us anything to chew on. But she's got a job, everybody. Smiling about it during the pandemic. You're either in the side of things where your whole world's falling apart, or you're overthinking things. And she's in the other one, I guess. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining me, as it was whatever it was. I appreciate all of your attendance, appreciate all of your participation. Thank you so much for those of you who donated. I really do appreciate your generosity. Just after this, over on Your Boy Pat's channel, or Your Boy Live, look up Your Boy Live. Your Boy Pat will be having a stream. Go join Pat, hang out with him, because you should, because Pat's cool. Other plugs, I just put up a new scripted video on my channel. It's about as educational as this, but maybe a bit more insidious, given the fact that the person involved is an actual educator. Another curriculum of fear. And all that aside, if you'd like to hear more from me, or Satsu 2 Cents, or the Ranting Monkey, you can find all three of us tonight on Satsu 2 Cents' channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for The Lords of the Night, where we'll talk about the news of the day, news stories that you submit, what we've been up to on the internet, and then your questions and comments. Everyone, again, thank you so much for joining me for this slog of a TEDXcellence. I hope you are all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.